Welcome back. This is the Speak Your Piece podcast. My name is Ian McNaughton, Big E here. We're doing a bit of a shorter pod, short notice, with my boy, my friend, Jevon Lefebvre of the Left Side Heavy podcast. Jev, how goes it, man? What's new?
I just started back at my full-time job this week, and I'm so tired. It's insane.
I
It's a lot. I was a lot more tired than I was expecting, so that's what's new. I'm doing big boy work now instead of part-time at Leo's. So,
mm,
yeah.
well, I was. It's funny. So we're doing this pod after the Oilers Flames game 5. Oilers won. Um, I texted you earlier in the day and like, hey, if the Oilers win, let's do this reaction pod. Let's talk about this. And, we can do a quick pod and, both of us are like, yeah, cool, great, whatever. And now it's 10 o'clock, an absolute chaotic game.
Yeah.
It was funny. I was trying to describe this game to my mom, and it's like, the Rangers Hurricanes game was on earlier, and that series is like a glass of wine. Like, it's very nice. It's very, simple. It's basic. It does the job, right? And the Oilers Flames is like methamphetamine. It's absolutely wild. It
That's so
gets
true.
it gets more chaotic as you get deeper and you get more involved. And unfortunately, now it's all over.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid scores the game winner. The Oilers win 5-4. What are your just immediate thoughts on McDavid, the winner, and the game itself?
I mean, I think McDavid getting the winner is the only right person, is the only right way to end it if Edmonton were to score in overtime. It was such a weird game because, like, unlike game one, the shots were like 6-6 after the first.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost halfway through the second, the shots were like 6-6. And then next thing you know, in like 4.5 minutes, 4 goals are scored. And it's like, what is actually happening right now? And it was insane. And then a questionable disallowed goal, and it was a crazy game. And I'm happy to see Edmonton go through because I think McDavid deserves it. And yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see Mike Smith in the conference finals. Is this his second time in the conference finals?
Yeah, because he
He
was with
went there?
Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona in 2012, right? When they played
10,
LA.
10 years ago. 10 years ago,
Yeah.
he was in a conference finals. So the Mike Smith redemption arc, it's now come full circle.
Yeah.
I want to get back on the McDavid thing because we'll talk about the Coleman goal here in a second because that's probably 1B story in this game, but I think 1A story is Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
It is the fact that this dude, who I was watching the game with SYP Creator Scott, who can't make it because he has a bedtime, so he can't stay up this late. And I said to him, I'm like, McDavid's kind of due. Like he kind of been quiet these last couple of games. He wasn't really all that noticeable in game 4. Wasn't really all that noticeable, I thought, tonight. I mean, he had a couple of chances, but he didn't really dominate the last 2 games like he had in game 1 and game 2. And he gets the game winner. He literally put the Oilers on his back.
Yeah.
And he has dragged them from fucking absolutely nothing at Christmas. Like they were awful, like, a quarter of the way through the year. Not even a quarter, like halfway through the year, they were awful.
Yeah.
And now they're one of the 4 best teams in the league. It's insane. Was that his Michael Jordan moment? Is that his Kobe Bryant moment? I'm trying to think of what the comp would be because, like, I think he kind of has cemented himself now in that category for NHL players.
Well, because If you're gonna want to, holy, um, if you're gonna want to be a legend in this game, you're gonna need those moments that everyone's gonna remember, and like those moments where the team needs you. And mind you, he has like what 25 points in 12 games in these
Like
playoffs.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
so. I mean, how much more does he really need to prove? But it's moments like these, like he's done his things in the regular season. Everyone
Mhm.
knows that, but it's the playoff moments where legends are made, right? Crosby has his moments, Ovi has his moments, Gretzky, Lemieux, etc. The list goes on. But McDavid has yet to really have that like moment where he came in when his team like needed him most. And to move on to the conference finals where the Oilers haven't been in what 16 years since
See that
2006.
2006.
It's like who else to score the overtime winner but McDavid? And so I honestly think his Michael Jordan or like King James block on Iguodala, like something like that. Like it was just you never see McDavid show excitement, but when that puck went in, it was excitement. And so
It's so much energy, so much
yeah,
energy.
so I can kind of see that comparison of like that Michael Jordan moment, that LeBron Kobe moment, whatever you want to call it. Because yeah, he came in clutch, and especially to have it happen against a rival too. It's Colorado, take some notes.
So assuming that Colorado can advance and that they don't blow their series against the Blues, you know, this is what I believe is shaping up to be one of, if not the greatest postseasons. Because just this round alone,
Yeah.
you have the absolute chaotic Battle of Alberta, featuring the best player in the league, in my opinion, Connor McDavid, the best probably player of my generation.
Yeah.
You have you had the Tampa Bay Florida series where you have the dynasty in Tampa Bay. You have Colorado St. Louis, which has been entertaining as hell, including Wednesday's game with you know Robert Thomas scoring in overtime. And you have the Rangers Carolina series, which again is a series that allegedly people are watching, but it's still hockey. Um, I guess going back to this, what like do the Oilers even have a shot in the conference finals? Considering their goaltending has been below par for like most of the postseason, it's been McDavid and everybody else. What do you think the Oilers have a chance here to get to the actual Stanley Cup Finals?
If they got McDavid and Draisaitl, they always have a chance. I'm never gonna like I didn't expect Edmonton to get through Calgary. Like I thought Calgary was gonna beat them in 7 games and Edmonton beat them in 5. So as long as McDavid is healthy, I think Edmonton has a chance. I've I kept doubting them because I keep saying all they have is McDavid, but that's all they bloody need is McDavid. And I honestly think though, like if they get Colorado, it might be one of the greatest conference finals we'll ever see in our generation, seeing McKinnon and McDavid face off. Is Colorado severely outmatched? Is like, are they going to be the favorite? 100%. But as long as Edmonton has McDavid, they have a chance. Especially if St. Louis moves on. I think Edmonton can go to the Stanley Cup final.
I think we deserve Edmonton, Colorado in
It
the
has to happen. It has
considering
to.
considering we've had more St. Louis San Jose conference finals than we deserve, frankly. Like in the last decade. Um we need Edmonton, Colorado. So
Yeah.
let's go to the other side on this. Let's go to the Calgary Flames side where I don't know if they were outplayed tonight. Like it was pretty close. They could have won that game. They probably should have won that game considering the controversial goal. Did you think it was a goal? Did you think they should have let it count?
I I'm in such a gray area with that. I first thought, I'm like, that was bullshit. I think that should have been a goal. The path of his skate didn't really change. Like, I just think the puck was going in anyway. He didn't play that big of an impact. I just don't think I think it should count. But then I'm also saying, like, he was looking down at the puck, and instead of making an effort or just leaving it or making an effort with the stick, he moved his foot up in front instead. And it just happened to hit the puck. So I'm like honestly stuck in the middle here. I'm just gonna go with it and think that like it's not conclusive enough, in my opinion. So I think it just should stand and be a goal. But I'm so 50-50. Like, you could probably easily convince me one way or another. It's I keep going one way and then keep switching back to the other. Like, I'm honestly, what about you? Because I'm so in the middle with it. I have no idea.
I'll be honest. I didn't think it was a goal.
No?
I thought it should have been no goal because he kicked it in. It's not kicking motion, but he you can see that he makes an extra move with his skate, and the puck goes in. The rule sucks. I'm of the mindset that we should just allow everything that just goes in the count. But if we're playing this stupid, kicking motion bullshit, he kicked it in. He knocked it in with a skate, and there's a motion. There's a swing toward, with the puck going in the net, and you can say that he's trying to stop. He's trying to slow down. He kicks it in. He does kick it in. I especially if you look inside that net cam, when you look in that net cam and you see that extra little movement, I find it's no goal for me. It's no goal for me.
Fair. That's fair enough.
And I think the rule stinks. I think they should just allow everything to go in. Remember when Andrew Shaw in whatever postseason that was headbutted the puck in the net against Anaheim, and they had to call that back because that was not a goal. That wasn't allowed for whatever reason. Like, allow that. Allow that. Allow the Coleman goal. Allow any one of these goals that go in past the goalie. Count it. I don't care. But with what the rules are now, that's kind of what it is. It's kind of the rules. But I don't think that wasn't the reason why the Flames lost that game. I don't think. I think the Flames had an opportunity to win that game beforehand, and they didn't.
I was gonna
say, no, you're all good. I was gonna say you were down 3-1 to the Oilers.
Yeah.
In going into Game 5, that goal wasn't the reason why you lost that series. I hate to break it to you, Flames fans.
No, that's fair.
But
like, I'm watching it and there's an angle where I thought, like, I don't know, I can kind of see him as like bracing himself because he's about to hit the post and he hits the puck. But then I saw another one where I'm like, it just looks like he kicks it. So I'm literally like, but then also he's staring down at the puck, so he knows what he's doing.
He kind of knows what he's doing. Like,
so, yeah, I'm about to see the net. I see the overhead view right now. Let's see if I can slow this down.
It's accidentally on purpose.
That's such a tough call. Like, I'm good with it going either way, to be honest. Like, I'm in that position. I've never been so 50-50 on a call before.
Yeah.
And I hate that I'm not giving you a clear answer, but I'm not confident in either one. I'm being 100% honest. It's so hard for me.
Well, and especially with the stakes. Like, you're literally deciding, in an elimination game, possible elimination game, in this rivalry. Like, yeah. I'm glad I'm not the one who was having to make that call. Who's having to make that decision.
I was kind of hoping Calgary would win that game just so there wasn't any sort of like controversy because people are going to say Edmonton got lucky, Edmonton versus or refs, Calgary versus refs. Like that's going to be the number one comment in any sort of post relating to Edmonton winning. But I also saw a good tweet because Chicklets like posted the video or whatever. A bunch of people posted the video, and someone in the comments said, "There's so many 50-50 comments. That just shows you how inconclusive it is. It should have just stood the way it is." And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
also a good point.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But then,
That's a football thing.
yeah,
It's literally a football thing of like if there's inconclusive evidence, you just let the call on the field stand. And
yeah.
I don't have an issue with that either.
No matter what call you make, the same amount of people are going to be complaining. It's just a matter of what percentage is going to be happy and what percentage is going to be upset. Like that kind of thing. It's just, yeah, it's so tough. I understand both arguments, and I kind of, if I had to swing one way, maybe I'll flip to it being like it shouldn't have been a goal. Because why would he, you see, now I'm just gonna go against myself.
You're that guy who's playing devil's advocate.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say, why would he kick it if it's already going in? But also it's like that gives me all the other reason, which means he didn't mean to do it because the puck was already going in.
But I also feel like Blake Coleman is the kind of guy who maybe not the most skilled, but he kind of knows what he's doing.
100%.
Like he kind of has an idea that like I'm not trying to, purposely kick this puck in, but got to try and get it in.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
And the other thing to add there is that kicking the puck in has been such a subjective call too.
Because you can like redirect it in.
Yes.
Which means, but like that means your skate has to be stationary. Or like not really making a movement towards. What if you're like kicking it to the corner or something like that, and it just happens to hit your skate wrong, but you're not kicking it towards the net? Like, what is that? Because you're not making it towards the net, but it somehow goes off your foot and in. Like that's it's definitely a weird call. Like I definitely think that like I would have to go against you on saying if the puck ends up in the net, it should count, because if people would just be starting like to swat it in and stuff, and there'd be so many gray areas.
Oh yeah, but like hand passing, no, like you obviously can't just pick up the puck and throw it in. But like I think within reason,
yeah,
we should be allowing like this goal, yes, but like
can't be like ref's discretion almost.
Yeah, and I mean,
kind of
like as long as you're not throwing the puck in, or you're swatting it in, or you're high sticking it, like I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
like I don't mind Andrew Shaw headbutting the puck in.
Fair.
But I do like what you said of like there wasn't really enough evidence. You could have just stayed with the call on the ice, and I think that would have been fine. Like I don't.
Yeah, like I personally, I can't make a decision. I'm
That's
like
fine.
Deciding one way, and then I'm like thinking, I'm like, oh, but this is also like, do I believe that? Because if the goal stood, I would have been like, that's fair. But then the goal called back, and I was honestly kind of surprised. But then like I looked into it deeper, and then it just made me more into the middle, where I went from like that should have been a goal to I understand both calls.
This might be a thing for like you and I, where it's like, oh, I might have to sleep on this overnight and really come to a decision tomorrow, which you can't do in the moment. Like you can't as a ref being like, oh yeah, no, I'll sleep on, I'll let you guys know tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, no, you have to make a decision right then and there.
Yeah.
And they made the decision.
Yeah.
For better, for worse.
Like I wanted Edmonton to win, but just not this way. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want them to win on controversy. Because
but I don't think they won on controversy. Like I don't think that goal really made I don't think that goal really, hell, with how that game played out, Edmonton probably would have scored in another 90 seconds afterwards.
That's fair. That's fair enough. There was 2 goals in 15 seconds tonight, so
like, I don't know. I just feel like Edmonton. I can't say the better team won because I think both teams were really competitive and they both deserve to win.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a dirty win. Like I don't feel cheated. But again, I'm not the one. Like I'm not an Oilers or a Flames fan. I don't have anything invested in either one of these teams. So you're probably asking the wrong guy, anyways. But I don't know. I think it's probably in a way a good thing that McDavid scored the game winner, so that we have that other storyline to talk about how great he is, instead of like Ryan McLeod getting the game winner, and then Flames fans are like, well, fuck this shit. This sucks. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, um, we'll we'll talk. Let's talk about we talked about the Oilers going to the conference finals. They're gonna be playing the Avs? Question mark. We'll pencil in the Avs, and then if they
Yeah.
don't make it, we'll just erase it, and then we can put in the Blues. Um, it's like when you do a test, right? And you're like, oh fuck, I don't know the answer to question like 12. I'm just gonna put in an answer, circle that question, go back, and if I don't like it, then I'll erase it. The Flames have some weird decisions to make this offseason. I believe Gaudreau's a UFA, Kachuk's an RFA. Markstrom's still on the book for like another 4 years after this, another 3 seasons, 4 years, 3 years, because he signed after the Yeah, that's right. He
After
signed
the bubble.
after the bubble season.
Yeah.
So I think he's got 3 more years after this. God, the Flames feel like they're in win now mode, aren't they? With Sutter, with how
Yeah.
that team performed this year. Do you see Gaudreau re-signing, Kachuk re-signing? Do you see those guys coming back? Is this kind of a run it back year for the Flames forever they can?
Well, I think their situation is very similar to Florida's. And I listened to your most recent podcast today with Scott,
Oh, and thank you.
and it was like Florida's in such a weird spot. And I know that we're talking about Calgary, but I'll relate Calgary to
Yeah,
them
no,
in a
no.
sec.
Make your jumps.
Where like Florida, like you said, Barkov's gonna double his contract. Huberto and Uyghur are gonna be up after next year. And then you got Bobrovsky's terrible contract. And then you got Giroux, Sherratt. Like Florida's gonna be a good team, and it'll be hard to run it back and have the season like they had this year. But like I think they will be like 100. They'll be like a Penguins this year.
Sure. Yeah.
Like they'll be like 108-point team, I think. And I kind of relate the same to Calgary, whereas like I just don't think they have enough to like bring back some of their studs though. Like they're not gonna bring Mangiapane back. Like I think he's gonna get offer sheeted. Actually, I don't know, because we always say someone's gonna get offer sheeted, but then no one does. Like one person gets offer sheeted and it's like some 7th defenseman on Arizona or something.
Hey, look how that Kotkaniemi deal is working out for Carolina, right?
$6 million. What did he sign? Like a 2x6 or something?
No, I think it's a 1x6, but then they can offer
Oh,
him less this upcoming year
gotcha.
because they just wanted the asset.
Gotcha. But yeah, I Calgary is just in a tough spot. I would personally prioritize bringing Kachuk back at the right number because he's younger and brings more to the table. And I don't know, Johnny just he seemed like he disappeared for like 70% of the series, and he showed up in like spurts of games.
He
And
got
like
a
I
goal.
just
He got a goal tonight, and he got the game winner in Game 7.
yeah. Like
Yeah,
I don't know, I just like I see more of Kachuk, whether it's stirring it up, bringing energy, hitting, fighting. He scored 40 goals this year. He had like 104 points. Like I don't know. I just prioritize bringing Kachuk back, and it's just gonna be hard to bring everyone else back. I'm sure they can make it work by like trading some pieces and like kind of doing of like a Vegas thing where you can like teams can trade for pieces from Calgary for like bargains. Like a better deal than they would have been, but Calgary's just trying to like stay under the hard cap but keeping some of their superstars. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of function they run in this off season. I'm excited to see.
I also don't know how you could not bring back Matthew, considering the fun Brady was having for like the first 2 games.
Exactly. Yo, this guy was crushing beers. He was deleting them. He had like 2 in his back pocket, and that guy was off his rocker.
And he's high-fiving fans, and he plays
Yeah.
for another Canadian team. Like, he's
Yeah.
the captain of another Canadian team, and he's high-fiving fans. Like, how do you not bring this guy back? Like, how do you not bring his brother back? How do you
Yeah.
not bring Brady into the mix
Yeah.
too? That's the real question.
Goudreau for Brady, straight out.
Who says no? And I mean, Goudreau. Doesn't Goudreau just feel like that guy who New Jersey is just going to throw a whole bunch of money at, and he's going to be like, New Jersey is going to make him their big offseason signing? Like, New
Or
Jersey,
Buffalo, like with Kadri, like you said.
doesn't that just feel like a dude with Goudreau, where it's like, we don't actually want to fix anything with our team. We would rather just pay money to solve this problem.
Yeah.
And Goudreau, who's going to be on the wrong side of 30, is going to get like an 8x9 with somebody, or a 7x9. And then he's going to go to New Jersey. He'll play with Jack Hughes. They'll take really cool Instagram photos together. #Short King season. And then they get 50 points or 60 points or whatever, and miss the playoffs by 20. And it's just well, we need
we have the
goaltending.
Superstar though.
Yeah, we got superstars, but we also don't have goaltending. It's like, well, maybe spend your $9 million on goaltending.
Yeah.
Instead of like the hot commodity in the offseason. But that's what it feels like with Goudreau, to be honest.
Yeah. I want to go back to Brady Tkachuk, because I saw this tweet and it was so dumb, and people were making the biggest deal out of it. People were like, Canucks fans, how would you feel like if Quinn Hughes was cheering for Jack Hughes in a New Jersey playoff game? I'd be like, I wouldn't give a fuck.
That'd be awesome. That'd be hilarious.
I wouldn't care. I wouldn't think anything of it. He's cheering for his brother in a playoff game when Tkachuk is playing well. Like,
and not only that.
God, it makes me so mad. People overreact to so many different things. It's like, it's not a big deal. Move on.
But not only that, like, it's such a Tkachuk move, not to sit in like a suite, but to sit in like the 100 level with 2 Bud Lights in his back pockets while carrying another one, walking up the stairs, high-fiving everybody.
It is amazing. It is amazing.
That's so cool. Like,
and
I would do that if my brother was playing in the NHL in a playoff game. I would absolutely be doing that.
Oh my, yes, 1000%. And it's so funny because he's just making like $7 million a year. Didn't he extend and get like a new contract? He's out of his ELC, right?
Yeah, he got his new deal with Ottawa last summer.
Yeah, isn't he making like 7 sheets a year or something like that? Captain of the nation's capital, and he's just getting blitzed in the Saddle Dome watching his brother play a playoff game. Like, and fans, some Jerry from fucking West Calgary is just there with his daughter, and he's high-fiving a wasted Brady Tkachuk in game 3.
Mike from Lethbridge is like, fuck, I got to meet Brady Tkachuk. This is great.
And then like in 3 months, you'll see him videos in like Ottawa, like training camp videos. And he's like, that guy was getting blitzed in like game 2. Like, unbelievable. You can't make this stuff up.
No, you can't.
It's hilarious.
It's just great content, and you just love to see it. And I mean, this is a whole nother conversation about just NHL players showing personality, and that personality rock. Like, that stuff is really cool, and I think we should be supporting that more often.
100%.
I want to just touch on this quickly. Erica Branson, Nikita Zadorov. Will one or both or neither of them be back next season with the Flames?
Are they both UFAs?
I think Gabranson is. I don't know about Zadorov, but I think Gabranson's a UFA.
I think they bring Goodbranson on like a Giordano deal, which is hilarious because the fact that one one of them is the greatest defenseman of all time, and one of them won the Norris 3 years ago. I'll let you figure out. I'll let you figure out who I'm talking.
Both these guys are not the same. Both Zadorov and Goodbranson are UFAs, along with Michael Stone.
If I had to pick, I think they honestly bring Goodbranson on because I think it'll be cheap, and like he actually did bring some life to that blue line in terms of like on the toughness scale.
Yeah, the physicality.
Because he does bring toughness, and if he's not playing like a big role like he was brought in to play in Vancouver, you don't have to expect much. He's like a 6th, 7th defenseman who just is there for on intimidation. So I think Branson is brought back. I think Zadorov is gone, and I think Stone is maybe back. But I don't know the ages of all these guys.
I'm gonna I'll have you on my podcast to discuss the Canucks here at another point, because we were making this joke about how like the Canucks won the Goodbranson for Pearson trade and then immediately lost it by giving him the extension.
Yeah,
it's like, no, bro, just take the dub. You don't need to worry about extending him. Just take this dub.
Yeah.
And Jim Benning's like, how would I extend this dude? And it's like, bro, how about you don't?
Have you just stopped doing anything related to hockey and just go far away?
The other funny thing I want to mention about this is in our friend group that I had a running joke about how Zadorov was Russian for Goudreau. And then my friend SYP Creator Rab was just like, yeah, and Goodbranson is Canadian for lamppost. So like, if there's a way, I don't know. I mean, the goaltending was shit. Markstrom was awful this series. For how good he was against Dallas, he was awful this series. I don't know if you want to fix defense, if that's gonna be something that you look at if you're Calgary. But
I think you have to. I think, yeah, I don't know what they do. Take the $9 million they're gonna give Goudreau and offer sheet Noah Dobson.
Perfect. Good call.
I would rather, in all honesty, I mean, I don't even know if they have any assets
draft capital
to offer sheet anyone. So maybe like offer sheet Ethan Bear. Maybe.
Calgary does not have a 1st round pick this year, a 3rd round pick, a 4th round pick, or a 6th round pick.
So I think for Dobson, I think his compensation's looking like a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, I think.
Probably.
So, and they don't have 2 out of those 3. So,
well, I mean, you have to think, there's a lot of market interest for guys with the first name Noah.
Yeah.
So you
Noah's Ark.
Yeah, exactly. You're probably gonna have to overpay on that a little bit.
Who's your number 1 pick for guys named Noah?
I think it's Dobson. I've interviewed Noah Dobson. I interviewed him at the 2018 Mem Cup when that was one of my first events that I freelanced for. And I don't know if I'm sure I've told this story on the pod before, but basically, like, I asked to interview Dobson on a morning skate. This is in Regina, and I don't know, this is 10 in the morning. I'm at the Brant Center where the Pats play. Dude pulls up in sandals, khaki shorts, polo, Acadie Bathurst polo, more facial hair than I'll ever grow in my lifetime, and a dude's younger than me. And he was just like, he had like either an H&M or a Lululemon bag that he was carrying. So casual. He's like, hey man, what's up?
Lax bro. That's a lax bro outfit there.
It's such a lax bro move. It's such a lax bro. Like, he probably drives a Jeep.
Yeah, 100%. Or a Ford Ranger.
Oh yeah, or Mazda truck guy.
Yeah. Mazda truck guy for sure. He was the in the lacrosse frat in BMS that the football team hated.
That was no Dobson. Look, but lacrosse was just a summertime thing that he just did outside of hockey. That was just he was just summer lax.
Yeah.
All
100%.
right, Jevon. We're gonna head out here. I'm gonna let you get some sleep. Thank you
Yeah,
very
I'm
much for doing
so
this.
tired.
Uh,
Oh
by the
man,
way,
anytime.
congratulations on hitting episode 100. You're
Hey
slowly
man, I
catching up to
appreciate that.
us because I haven't got my shit together. So you're gonna overtake me here soon because you actually know what you're doing.
Hey man, you're
Um,
doing great. You're doing great, sweetheart. Keep it up.
Thank you, big guy. Much appreciated. If you want to do just a quick plug about where we can find your stuff and where we can listen.
Um, I'll plug the podcast stuff at Left Side Heavy underscore on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and YouTube channel Left Side Heavy. And if you like our stuff, then give us a rating and review anywhere you get your podcast. That'd be very much appreciated.
You had a hilarious in hindsight post with McKinnon.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, so I was watching the game. I'll quickly tell this. Watching game 4 at my sister's place, and I was talking with my dad. I'm like, it's crazy that Colorado's up 3-1. Or my dad was like, I haven't heard much of McKinnon. And I'm like, isn't that crazy that they're at 3-1 and you haven't heard of much of McKinnon? Like that just makes this team so much scarier. And I edit that clip, get it all together, post it, and then in like 10 minutes, McKinnon has like 4 points. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. I guess this is it's funny because someone like replied to my tweet and they're like, yo, he has 2 goals and an assist. I'm like, yeah, this is recorded prior to the game.
Big
So
asterisk recorded prior.
yeah.
Well,
So
thank you for taking the time to do this. We'll talk to you soon,
anytime.
man. Thank you again to Jevon Lefebvre for coming on the Speak Your Peach podcast. We'll be back with a couple more pods next week. Be sure to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out on our YouTube channel where you can watch full video podcasts. And again, thank you very much for listening. We'll be back again soon. Peace out.